you.
Okay, we're gonna let's kind of gather and as people come in, but let's open with a word of prayer. Oh Lord God, thank you for a different kind of way and a way that we can still come together. Let us, that heard Alicia say, you know, this new way is the now way, and that we can expand miles and be able to work together on events and programs and ideas and just celebrate. Be with each of us as we continue and generate some neat stuff to help the educators in our region. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, for those who may not have met me, I am Lindsay, and I'm going to go ahead and take this off because it's like, oh my gosh, hot. My other party hat on, I have a couple of them here. I knew that would happen. Here we go. It's my other flamingo hat. Okay, so I'm Lindsay. I'm a pastor up here in a little town called Higginsville, and I'm your connector. And I think we'll just do like by invitation and ask you to introduce yourself again, because I know we all know each other some way, but I don't know everybody, and that'll be cool. So I'm going to invite Becky. I'm not going to say your name.
Schwant, Becky Schwant.
Why? Okay.
Has lots of consonants. I'm Becky Schwant. I have two churches at the moment. One is a very small little country church kind of outside a small town. And then I have another church that's a little bit bigger, still not very big, just right outside of Springfield, Missouri. And I actually live in Springfield. So.
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
So you invite the next.
Glenda, because she has cool sunglasses on.
Thank you, Becky. I'm Glenda Watts. I'm retired, spending all of my time on Zooms. I had 3 things going today, but I picked APSI. And I'm in Prairie Village, Kansas, in the Heartland Presbytery.
Awesome.
And it's good to see all of you.
Okay, Glenda, invite the next.
Yes. Okay, Judy Cooper.
I'm Judy Cooper. I'm retired from Christian education, did children's ministry for many years, and I enjoy retirement, still keep active in Village Presbyterian Church and a number of other things that are not meeting right now. So I'm not retiring right now.
Okay, Judy, invite someone.
Oh yeah, let me invite somebody. I saw Kathy Kanians come back, didn't I?
Yes, I see her.
Kathy.
Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself. Kathy, unmute yourself.
She in the car?
It looks like it.
Unmute yourself.
I'm looking. Oh, there she goes.
Star 6.
Maybe come back to Kathy later.
Okay. Yeah, she's in a car.
Okay. How about
Okay.
Dawn Avery?
Okay. Where's Dawn?
Right?
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Sorry, I had to figure out how to unmute. My name is Dawn Avery, and I work with the Junction City Presbytery and just started as their youth educator, I want to say just a few months ago. So excited to be here and learning all this stuff. It's been great.
Cool.
How about Audra West?
Hi, my name's Audra West. I live in Columbia, Missouri. I am the new youth and children's director at First Presbyterian Church, Columbia, Missouri. Started March the 8th of 2020, right before everything went crazy. So, how about Hannah Peters?
Hello, I am Hannah Peters from St. Louis, and I have been with Trinity Presbyterian Church in University City for 10 years. I am, I do the children's programming and confirmation, middle school, high school, all of the kids and youth for the congregation. And I want to know, Stephanie, you were holding a baby. Are you muted? I want to know.
Unmute.
Divide,
Stephanie.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, this is Miriam's baby. My daughter, this is my grandson.
That's
He's
wonderful.
Yeah.
not quite 2
You
weeks
were gonna
old, so
say.
Cool.
Okay, what's his name and how old is he?
his name is Parker Mason Fultz, and he's not quite 2 weeks old yet. So
Mm, mm,
Oh,
mm.
that's so exciting. Yeah,
yes,
so I only know a couple of people, Stephanie and Julie. I recognize Julie. That's it.
Okay, we'll just call
I've been
one.
doing this a long time. I was with another congregation for a bunch of years before Trinity. So, okay, so I'll go to Stephanie.
all right. I am Stephanie Fultz from First United Presbyterian in Belleville, Illinois, right across from St. Louis. So it's good to see your all's faces tonight. So
Mhm.
yay. I can't stay on too long because it's almost feeding time, but I'm
Okay,
looking around and saying hi and just had to come for a few minutes. So
sweet. Okay, Steph, call on someone.
I'm going to call, well, I saw Rob Monroe just come on, so I'm going to call on Rob.
Woo.
Hi, friends. So Mitch just texted and said, get on the Zoom, moron. So here I am.
Good job, Mitch.
So I assume it's just sort of who we are and where we are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I am the Director of Children, Youth, and Family Ministries at First Presbyterian in Kirkwood, Missouri, so outside of St. Louis. So I work with birth through high school officially. I keep in touch with our college students. I support our families, etc. So I've served with the region on and off for as long as I've been here.
Okay, choose someone else.
I don't know who hasn't gone. If you haven't gone, raise your hand.
Lauren.
Mitch, it's going to be Mitch.
You know, I do have a way of encouraging people to join groups. Like, get the hell on.
Thank you, our bouncer.
So I am Michelle Phillips, or Mitch, and I am currently serving a part-time position at the Kirk in Kansas City, Missouri. And I love APSI and PYWA and the chance for us to quickly gather together. And I am so excited to see so many people that I have not ever met before. It's very, very exciting for me. I mean, I do love my St. Louis clan and then my retirees, Ruth and Judy. Mwah. And Glenda. I know, Glenda, we're not going to get a picture together. It's not APSI.
Oh,
We always get one together.
I know. And Julie, my Julie.
Take a picture of the screen.
So, but I'm excited to hear from everybody, and I would like to hear from Pat is it Cleland?
So I'm Pat Cleland. I am the interim at Webster Groves Presbyterian Church, and I work with middle, high schoolers and teach confirmation.
awesome. Okay, choose. Have we frozen? Oh, darn.
No, Pat, you're supposed to choose someone else to go.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Who hasn't gone? Okay, Karen, please go.
I'm Karen Wright, and I am the associate at Southminster Presbyterian in Prairie Village. And Ruth gets to put up with me on a regular basis because she's on the CE committee at Southminster. So she has to put up with me and my craziness. And it is, I like others, I'm glad to see a lot of new faces. This is awesome. And this pandemic has been crazy. And yes, Mitch, I turned 50 a week ago. I turned 50 a week ago Tuesday, and I went axe throwing. And axe throwing is the
It was
bomb.
funny.
And
I saw
threw it,
that.
and the first throw I made, the axe master looked at me and he goes, "You've never done this before." And I threw a couple more times. He goes, "Okay, I'm going to be seeing you on ESPN." So I am thinking we may need to actually create a Presbyterian axe throwing league. So yes, if you haven't been axe throwing, I highly recommend it. It really isn't all that dangerous. Sally did my wife, Sally, is a Presbyterian pastor. She did a great job throwing it. I think I liked it more than she did, but it was for my birthday. So there you go.
Are you in an actual room, Karen, or is that
No, my virtual background
It's very impressive.
this is the great reading room for the library at the University of Oklahoma. I spent a lot of undergraduate time actually studying in this room because I loved the natural light. And otherwise, it's my basement, which is boring. I could also promote a show for Harry Potter or the chapel at my church. So I like to play with backgrounds. This is one of my favorites. I am going to call on Karen Meenan.
Hi, I'm Karen, and I am from Topeka, Kansas, and I am the DCE at Trinity Presbyterian Church, and I work with birth through high school and adults, and then also work with a youth group. And raise your hand if you haven't gone. Okay, Kimberly.
I had my hand raised, so I couldn't unmute. People actually call me Kimby, but I put that up official. I'm a pastor at First Pres in Gardner, Kansas, and I know a lot of folks here and enjoy being around. And I've done Christian Ed. I started in Christian Ed in Pennsylvania and other things. So now I do a little bit of everything. Let me think, who shall I turn to? Well, Sue, I'll go to Sue because I just left her church before she came, so.
Yes. Hi, I'm Sue Trigger. I co-pastor with my husband, Mitch, at Grace Covenant Presbyterian in Overland Park, Kansas. And I am off the walls rejoicing because yesterday I completed my last final educator certification course. I'm ready to finish. So yay, give me the test. I'm ready.
Awesome.
Let's see, who else hasn't gone? Ruth, have you gone yet? Go, Ruth.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Ruth Davidson, and just have to clarify, it's not difficult to work with Karen Wagner. She's really super. So I've retired, having served at Southminster for almost, I guess 17 years, I can't remember, 17 years, and then at Village Church after Judy Cooper. So anyway, it's great to be here. Good to see everybody.
Okay, Ruth, you have to look at the closed caption because it said after shooting Judy Cooper.
Oh no. Oh, and listen, Karen, you need to put yourself in the Star Wars ship too, so we can see the star. Okay, she's got to get in her ship here.
That's Freudian slip.
I've seen like all of mine.
I can do the Chewbacca.
I have to move though.
Okay,
Awesome.
choose someone, Ruth. We still have Julia and Kathy can need hands. Oh, and there's Melinda. She's with us too.
Okay, let me do Kathy. We'll try Kathy. She looks like she's at home now.
I got home. I'm Kathy Kneehans, a retired pastor, teaching pastor, and I was out and about because just a few minutes ago, I got my second COVID vaccine.
Oh, yay.
So that was a good reason to go on out, and was trying to get back. And of course, when you have Larry was driving, my husband, I was not driving, but it says your car's in speaker mode, and that wouldn't let me work. And then every time we hit a bump, I lost everything. So, and my husband has to drive me because I have severely broke my right humerus at the shoulder and had to have total shoulder replacement. and my arm is just not working. So
Hey, girl.
that's what's going on with me. So otherwise, it's great. This is a different APSI. So many memories flooding through.
Mm-hmm.
And Melinda, are you on here?
I'm here.
I'll choose you.
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I'm Melinda Spencer. I'm the executive presbyter of John Calvin Presbytery. It is a wonderful place to be. And it is very weird to do study leave when I know that I'm going to have to make supper tonight. So I choose Tony Spieth.
Thank you, Melinda. I am Tony Spieth. I'm moderator of John Calvin Presbytery. And Ruth Davidson and I were together just recently at, where were we, Ruth? Oh, PEO, big PEO meeting. And then my sons were baptized in Southminster. So, and we went to church to Gardner for many years. So been around this Heartland Presbytery for a long time, and now John Calvin. I'm glad to be here. And who needs to be introduced? Wave your hand. Janet Wright.
Hi, I'm Janet. I'm Janet Riley. I'm from Alton, Illinois. I'm an interim pastor and just so happy to be with you all, and also to see that new baby of Stephanie Fultz's grandbaby. I picked Julie. You haven't gone, have you?
No, I haven't. Thank you. So I'm Julie Gavillo, and I served a congregation for 13 years. When that church merged with another congregation, I left and started a spiritual retreat planning ministry called A Place of Grace. And so I have been, like all of you, learning how to do ministry online for the last year, but I work from home anyway most of the time. So this just means I'm more at home than I was before. And Melinda, I meal prepped. So all I have to do is shove the casserole in the oven in a few minutes when we're done, and then pull it back out when it's done.
If I leave now,
even though Julie was frozen, this is probably how she looked the whole entire time.
Yep.
Julie, where's your
See, I told you.
Oh.
So in the chat are a few people that haven't gone yet. Julie, so there's Kaylin and Shiloh that put their names in the chat that haven't gone yet.
And Lexi hasn't either.
Okay. So I'm going to go with Kaylin because her name is first.
Hello,
and
Kaylin.
Jerry.
I am I'm a transplant, so I've been in Western Pennsylvania most of my life. My husband's going to SLU, and March 1st, 2020, I started our new position as the Christian Education Director at First Presbyterian Church in Edwardsville, Illinois. 3 weeks later, of course, as you can guess, we went virtual. And so I work with birth through adult Christian education, as well as the youth group. I've got the youth ministry committee and the Christian education committee that I work with. So they're pretty great. So I would like to invite Shiloh.
Hi, I'm Shiloh Beck, and I am from Manhattan, Kansas, and I serve as the Director of Children, Youth, and Family Ministries at First Presbyterian Church. And I'm just really happy to be here. This is my first year at APSI at the conference, and my first year as a member. So I'm really excited for the resources and just hearing different ideas this weekend. So.
We still have Jerry and Lexi to pick from, I believe. Okay, Lexi, I'll pick.
I'm here. I'm Lexi Weiser, and I work at the Resource Center at the Presbytery of Northern Kansas. And I've been there for a little over 20 years and enjoy it. Have been to lots of APSEs. And this is really kind of fun because we've got a lot of people, I think, from Northern Kansas that wouldn't have maybe, come or been able to. So this is kind of, there is an upside to this, even though it's not a great upside, but there is. So glad to be here.
Okay, Jerry, with the very cool cowboy hat.
Okay. Well, I don't think I've ever been picked last before. It must be the hat. So I'm taking that off. I never wear cowboy hats, by the way. So I'm with the Presbytery of Southern Kansas. I don't know if anyone else from that is here, but my church is in Wichita, First Presbyterian Church, and I'm the director of youth and young adult ministry. And I live in Valley Center out in the country, but I drive into town for my job. And it's nice to see everybody.
Good to see you. It's good to see everybody, as we've all said, in this weird time. So I didn't know, I'm hoping everybody kind of got my email, but does anybody have some like experience they want to share, that having to do with this isolation, shutdown, social distance, something you want to celebrate or you grew from, or just as I have survived? Anybody want to share?
Yeah, I'll go. I've been impressed with the level of folks. Ruth Davidson is on our board of deacons at Southminster, and we have a monthly mission, and that table overflows. Like for Super Bowl of Caring last year, I think we brought in 587 cans of soup. So we challenged the congregation to go to 600 this year. And it was like at 648, I think, when I last counted them. So
Sweet.
I just like mission. I think for me, what I've seen is a renewed interest in mission at the heart of things. And so how do we capitalize on that going forward? And we've had some fun doing some drive-through things, whether it was drive-through stewardship or fall kickoff. And they may not be as big and as amazing or have as great of attendance as we'd sometimes like. We have a drive-through Mardi Gras coming up to let people get ashes for Ash Wednesday. But it's been fun to find some new ways to engage, and how can we be congregation together?
Yeah.
Sue, I saw you had your hand up.
Yeah, I was going to say that what's been great for me is not that I've had a ton of extra time, but that the certification courses have been online and accessible. So much easier to be able to get those classes done. So, so that's been that's a bright spot in the COVID for me.
Yeah. Anyone else?
So I've been like trying to figure out, or I was before COVID, trying to figure out how to digitally offer the things that I do, spiritual retreats online. And because of COVID, the Presbytery offered technology grants, which made it possible for me to buy electronic supplies that would help me be able to do that. And as a result, I've been able to continue this ministry, which is really exciting for me. And then also the Presbytery invited me to lead a pastor's retreat where everybody was in different locations and we met on Zoom, and I sent out packets for prayer stations that they were able to engage in throughout the time that the 24-hour period that was set aside, but then we met on Zoom at different times to talk and have fellowship time. And then in November, I also led a retreat for St. Andrew Presbyterian Church in Boulder, Colorado from Illinois. So I'm thankful to the Presbytery for the technology grant that made that possible. I'm thankful to the churches and the people that were willing to try something new online and be able to continue to do what I do digitally and remotely and learn new things as a result. So I'm very grateful.
I have been able to do some more creative kind of hands-on stuff. Like we put together an Advent bag, or putting together a Lent bag. And what I have really found is, even with Zoom, but my older, like 80 and above older, have been more engaged than most everybody else. Which, I mean, I have a couple that won't Zoom, but they're doing all of the random things that I'm throwing at them, which, you know, you don't always get people trying all of your random ideas. But I think that they have been really willing to try stuff they wouldn't have been able to try otherwise.
For me, one of the blessings of Zoom is that I've got 2 families that are too far away to come to our Wednesday afternoon Logos ministry during the school year, because they don't get out of school till we're already 20 minutes into it, and then they have to drive 35 minutes. So having a family that would otherwise not participate at all Zooming in with us has been really neat.
It's been really cool to have virtual Sunday school. We're doing it now for both the adults and the kids. And we've had perfect, in quotations, perfect attendance for the kids. And that's been really cool. Much like Rob said, we've got a family that's actually 45 minutes away. And so their daughter is super excited to participate and is really engaged. And it's just really fun to see that being part of their experience.
Well, I'll just throw in that our presbytery had a anti-racism book study over the pandemic. They had a morning group and an afternoon group, and then we're getting ready to launch a Lenten study that will meet Wednesday evenings in Lent for, you know, people scattered everywhere. And so I'm pretty excited about that.
We had like, I'm also in John Calvin Presbytery, but we had like 35 people sign up for white fragility. And we ended up with probably about 25 that were consistently there between the 2 groups, but it was a much bigger number than I thought it was going to be.
And I do have to add, I'm from John Calvin. I was in that book study, and it was just eye-opening, and it just has really just been very helpful to me to see that I am racist. I didn't think I was before the study, but I realize now that I have white privilege. So it's a very, very good, wonderful study, and I can't wait to continue.
I think we discovered in adult education that we could invite lots of people that we couldn't have normally had to lead our Sunday school class for our adult forum anyway. Some really exciting people. We've had our mission co-worker who's from the Democratic Republic of the Congo in Africa speak to our class. We had the border ministry Frontiera de Cristo speak to us about that mission agency. Alonzo Johnson in Louisville is excellent talking about reparations. And the other really fun series that we did was to contact 4 kind of previous youth from our church that are now in ministry. We have one that's a pastor in Boston, one that's in Michigan, and one in Dallas, Texas. And they all shared about their ministries now. Kind of fun to see our kids grow up and become leaders.
Cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Anybody else? Sorry, I left you a minute ago. My internet went out in the church. Lovely thing. Okay, so within it, you kind of answered the second question, talking about that new thing you did. So it's exciting to hear, you know, how we have, not to say adapted, but I guess you could. Anybody go to the Faith Formation for All? He talked about that. He talked about instead of adjusting, as we all kind of did, but then go into an adaptive and, you know, creating what Alicia went on to say, a new thing, which is a now thing, and not change it up, which I think is very cool. Anybody else?
Can you explain that, Liz?
Okay. Let me look. I happen to have a slide. As soon as I couldn't gear up, I had to close my thing down. But it was Roberto was his last name, with Living.
John Roberto.
Living Faith. John Roberto, that's it. Thank you. And he just kind of went through, and it was, what was cool is that it also was looking at the, what Bruce had started in his preliminary about, you know, the hybrid. Okay, here it is. So, what is, I don't know what's going on with my computer today. Here we go. Found the slides. Okay, he's, acute phase, as he called it, was the emergency, or the acute phase is the disorienting and almost desperate stage, this like being wheeled into emergency room, you know, because all of a sudden we're all into lockdown and everybody's scrambling. Okay, what are we going to do for worship? And you had to make a decision within like 2 hours or something, so everybody would know about it. And the goal of that, he said, was survival, to calm down, stabilize the shutdown, protect the organization, the team, the leader, the rest, get rest, sleep, breathe. And this is what many of us experienced when, of course, the pandemic started. And this is by Todd Bolsinger. The adaptive phase, he said, comes next if you choose to enter it. In other words, if you choose to do this new way instead of, okay, well, can't wait for everything to get back to normal kind of deal. It's when the emergency's passed, but a high stakes, if somewhat less urgent set of challenges has kicked in. You, having survived, how do you adapt to the uncertainties of a new reality in order to thrive? The crisis is far from over, and it's when the leader chooses to utilize the shock of the crisis to hit the organization reset button. I love that reset button. It's the moment to look deeply at the underlying issues that people have not had the will to confront before the crisis, opportunity to bring real deep change. In other words, reaching people that we haven't been able to get even step foot into the church possibly could be with us virtually. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, I'm hearing mine, can't wait to get back to the normal. Well, that there is no normal that we will ever know again. We're in the now. Okay, see you, Lexi.
When Liz, on that point of worship, we were actually talking with the staff this week that, like, my parents live in Oklahoma and I have an aunt who lives in Delaware that are almost every Sunday on our live stream for worship. Yeah, we have former members who are in Western Kansas who join us. And our music director found out he has a bunch of buddies in Iowa and Illinois who join us online. So, like, there's a point at which, like, they may never be a pledging unit in the church, or they may never, so to speak, darken the door, but yeah, we can have impact outside of circles, like in circles that we aren't even aware of.
Well, it's also to show that, you know, what Jesus tried to teach us, if we would listen, that we're the church. It's not this building. It's not the space we gather in. It's part of that, but it's not, we can't hang on to it, with our knuckles turning white. I think John Roberto even said that, was it him? Yes. He was talking about, or no, it was Bruce Rains Chow, having relatives in Hawaii, having someone in New York, and they were all being able to worship together as a family, which is, makes so much sense. If I could get my mother to learn how to use, streaming or everything in her house, she could be join in on us, but we're still trying to get her still on basic computer stuff. So, we'll see. But anyone else, have something cool to add or share, or, an epiphany moment to start? Sure, Caleb.
Oh, I was going to add, it's been really cool, kind of building on what Karen was saying. We've had members who we have a lot of snowbirds, and a lot of them who typically aren't around for like the congregational meeting, for example, or they miss out on like 3 or 4 months of Sunday school. They were actually able to participate in all of those things this year. And we've gotten several emails giving thanks after those things. And so it's been really neat to open that avenue back up for those folks who are active, incredibly so, when they're here. And so that's been cool.
Yeah, and it keeps the connection. One of the things, it seemed like I just was tired before Advent even got started, but I talked to my Christian ed, and we put together a packet and sent it to all our families, and not just those families who are here in town, but also the grandkid families, that come at Christmas or, 2 or 3 times a year. Sent them an Advent packet so they could celebrate Advent as a family at home. And that's what we're working on, getting things sent out for Lent also. Okay.
I'm a grandma, and I think it's neat that we've had 3 babies at this regional gathering tonight.
Oh, cool.
I've seen 3 babies, and that's so fun for grandmas.
Yeah, it's fun for us aunts too. I have a niece who is I think it's sometime in March, and we've got a new baby coming in the congregation in about the next 4 to 6 weeks, and a baptism. In fact, we're going to do an outdoor baptism. We're going to go to a park and set up a big bowl and throw water on everybody, probably. Or we could even have a water balloon fight after it's over with. That would be fun. I have to ask the parents, can we do a water balloon fight after we baptize Hannah Claire?
And a big pretty cat too.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm at the office because my big pretty dog would just disturb y'all to death. My attention.
We've got my 17-month-old. His name is Miguel. You've seen him. You've seen one of our 3 cats. Vinny is our black and white cat, and he's very needy. And so you can't see the other one, but he's over here, and then the other one's down there on the floor. But they might make appearances. Who knows?
Cool. Okay. I'm going to move on to something that I didn't mention because I'm going last week was the week of 8 Zoom meetings, and couldn't think straight. But I did talk with Mitch. We talked about, the possibility of having a Mid-Central event this coming October, end of October and all. And I was wondering, do we want to try to do virtual, or how do you all feel about it? And you can put it in the chat or say it out loud. Any preference?
I've been able to do more continuing ed because it's been on Zoom than I have ever done. When I was filling out my presbytery paperwork, I think I had almost 40 hours of continuing ed just from completely random stuff. So I like the idea of Zoom. I think it's good to have smaller segments of, things that you get to do without the travel. I mean, I like the travel, don't get me wrong. I'm going to do it again, but
Well, also the fact that we, maybe be able to, have a speaker that we might not be able to afford as much if they had to travel to us. So, I wanted to feel you guys out of that, because I also would also ask, and if you would put it in the chat, if you would like to be on that planning of it. That's one of the things that is, trying to get something off the ground, is being able to plan it. When we go Zoom or virtual, we should be able to put something pretty cool together. So if you write it in the chat saying, hey, yeah, or, send me an email and let me know, and then I'll set us up a Zoom time and we can talk about it. And Mitch can.
I will tell you that the planning team was doing Zoom way before it was cool, because
Really?
we're spread out from Salina to St. Louis, and so one year it rained or it snowed on a day we were supposed to gather in Kansas City, and so yeah.
Glenda, I am not telling you no.
Oh, I will. No. No, I think there could be a fun way to do it, a hybrid model, because there are some that really just need to be able to leave home for a day or two, just to be away. But yet I also do love the fact that, there are so many new people here in just this meeting. I had to scroll to 2 pages. That's pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to connect with this many people in our region. And so I think there could be a great way to do a hybrid. Those that need to get away for a couple of days, amazing. Those that can spend 4 hours a day online, great. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, and we've got folks that can help us with the technology part of it.
And Liz, Kaylin, am I saying that correct? Kaylin said that she would be willing to help plan.
Oh, awesome. I have seen several say they would.
Awesome.
So, and I'm seeing a lot of people say they like the hybrid idea.
Good.
Okay. I have never done this on my phone, so I'm like trying to get to the chat. I feel like poor Catherine, going like, there it is. Okay.
It's a great idea about getting together those that are leading worship.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're participating as leadership. That's great, great idea. Hey, Glenda, you're in Kansas City. I want to do Zoom so I don't have to travel. I'm sorry. Those that are meeting me for the first time, I am kind of a pain in the ass. I will 100% own that.
Yeah.
That means get out of my house.
But if you ask me to do something, it's done.
That's right. She can get it done. So she will be.
That is the truth. But if you act like you might be interested in doing something, she'll turn your name in, even if you haven't even told her you might like to do something, and then stuck.
That's why I never talked to her. And somehow I got stuck with being Nectar, so I don't know how that done. I think that was Karen's fault, but I don't know.
Probably.
She didn't tell me I had all this work to do.
Mitch didn't tell me that either. She had it before I did.
Oh, still. Learn by. Okay. All right. So we got a hybrid idea. So is there, also think about this. These are like not rhetorical questions, but things for you to think about, because I did not put it in the email, and I'm sorry, but I will put together an email for everybody. And if I didn't get an email to you about this meeting to remind you or not, please, please do that. Send me your email to make sure I've got an email list of everyone who signed up for ABSI, and I will hope to, get to know all of you better. There's the chat. I'm going to put my email address so that you can just straight to me any information, any ideas.
And to forward this to youth workers or Christian educators in your area. I mean, that's what I did to Rob. I mean, he's been at the E4 conferences and at APSI before, and I sent it to some other folks, and I was like, I literally said, get your butt online.
Well, I'm surprised, Christy, we have a new youth person in our, on my committee of congregational ministries. And she got the scholarship to do APSI, but I guess I didn't get the email to her to join us.
Yeah,
but
she's from Pine Ridge, right?
Right. Yes, Christy Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
She's a go-getter. She's already got a timeline of action, and with working with youth, it's amazing. I love it. Energy.
I love seeing all you young people on here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is my Parker, by the way. She's 15 months.
Darling.
Oh, cool.
She waved at me.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, she likes seeing everybody's faces. She's really big on saying hi right now. So she's over here. Hi, hi.
What if can we all wave to her? Hi, everybody.
Sure,
Hi, look.
Parker.
Hi, Parker. Parker.
She's not
looking.
She's not looking.
Hi.
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 Look at that.
That was wave over the.
She's saying it very quietly.
Yeah, I heard her.
Yeah, she's like, hi.
Awesome.
Good job.
Is there anything else that you guys want to input? Any kind of theme, maybe? That'd be something else. Give those ideas if you, to the leadership.
Well, once we all figure out the new, what we're going to do in the future, there's going to be lots of sharing going on.
You ain't joking. That's the truth.
Hey, Mitch,
That's
how
what's
can
gonna
I
be
get my picture next to you?
Good luck.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Kind of just
If you have
falls
the-
the way it falls.
Glenda, if you
No.
will pin Mitch, she should come up pretty close to where your picture is, because yours should be close to the top. And if you pin her, she should be also very close to the top.
So Glenda and Mitch, you guys are right on top of each other.
Lost you now. I moved myself. Now I lost you.
If you've got the new Zoom, you can actually move the squares.
Go
wherever
ahead.
you want
but
them.
I don't.
Or just don't hang up until the end and be the last two on.
Oh,
Hey,
Rob,
I'm
there
so
you go.
sad that you told me that.
Oh, I
There
did.
you go.
I took a screenshot of you guys. Hey, this is
I got a
Cindy.
screenshot of all of us, so I was
Mitch,
going to
I
send
did
that out.
too, but I got you. I moved me next to you, Mitch.
Oh,
Give me a big smile.
You are so. I love it.
What does it
Why
take
don't you-
to be somebody you want next to you?
You just click and drag. I'm so sad that
click and drag.
because now I'm just going to reorder pictures like in the meetings that I get bored on.
There you go.
Like we do the see. Oh no, I don't want to sit.
Because
by
there's
them.
always
I
a
wanna
favorite and a
sit
least
down.
favorite, no matter what meeting you're on.
I
get
was
it
gonna
all.
say you could always
Karen.
put your favorites toward the top, and the one that you really, oh look, we're almost out of time. You're at the end. Oh, sorry.
Karen,
Give
Karen,
30 seconds.
I got
Go.
you next to me, so smile.
Okay.
That is so funny.
Well, I will say that I really like Rob's idea, and then he and I have been chatting also that maybe because we are in a virtual world that we can do a once a month kind of mid-central quick 30-minute, even just check-in. People get in and say, hey, I can just use prayer for this, or this is one thing that I did really great, just so we can keep that connection. So it's just something to think about, because we don't have to travel anywhere.
So
So
Mitch,
we
I
might
only
as well.
sent that to you.
What?
I only sent that to you, so they have no idea what I said. I suggested that maybe if we could ask people for the month of October, let's pick a day of the week, and for 4 Tuesdays, we'll do a 90-minute workshop or something together so that it can carry on what we have done at the event, or it can be a completely separate thing.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
so it's not like 2 consecutive days, it's 4 90-minute Tuesdays or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Could you tell me if the GNTV is spying on us?
No, he's making sure everything runs right. He's
Oh,
our
okay.
tech person.
We have tech support.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every gathering, every meeting has a tech support behind it. So,
and
we
we are being recorded.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're being
Thank you,
recorded.
GNTV.
So every horrible thing that you may have said or whatever has been recorded, Mitch, but that's okay. We can go back and laugh at it later.
You're
You know.
awesome.
Yes.
Okay, I like that idea. Okay, 4 weeks. 90 minutes. Yeah.
And it could be a different day each week. So like maybe it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or so it's like diagonal. So you could just mark it on your calendars ahead of time.
There you go.
Yeah. And we'll look at that and we'll just I guess I'll have to learn how to do is it doodle poll or whatever that is, Google poll or whatever it's called. I'm learning a bunch of new stuff too, not like I want to, but yeah, I am.
Doodle.
Anyhow. Okay, we are almost out of time. We've got about 6 minutes left. Oh, Julie, is you yelling at you? Julie, quit yelling at Rob, okay?
Yep.
It's not nice.
Well, thank you, Liz, for organizing all of
I'm
this
yelling
and getting us
because he
together.
Doesn't take a
Well-
day off, and I taught him better than that.
Well, fortunately, it wasn't a lot of it was done by the by our ABSI. I just sent you the link and invited you to come celebrate, which
Except for me.
except for Glenda, because I didn't know she wasn't on the list. Okay, Glenda's gonna not let me live that down.
Wendy, you gotta let that go. We love Liz.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, because
She'd be mad at me.
if you don't get mad, if I get mad, I can just let somebody else be connector. Okay. You know what I mean?
Mad at me because I probably didn't pass that information on to Liz. So there you go.
You didn't.
It's Karen's
Anyway.
fault.
It's always my fault. There you go.
That's okay. I'll take responsibility too.
Yeah, when you hit 50, thank goodness I only have like 9 more months.
Shoot. I wish I was just 50.
Watch it, Mitch. Watch it.
I remember I hated my 50th birthday. Can you believe that? And look at me now.
Well, I love one of
I'm
the
getting pretty upset about my 39th. It's the summer.
one of the birthday cards I got from a wise colleague in the presbytery said, "Welcome to your 50s when you're considered wise and yet still relevant."
Oh, that's a
I will
bunch of.
take that and run.
Well, I'm on my last year of 50, so I hit the bit. In fact, my sister said, "Is this the?" I said, "It's not the big one yet. It's next year."
So I'm just so y'all know,
Okay.
I'm getting ready to rotate onto the annual events committee again. So if you really like this option of having a virtual gathering, please put that in some type of evaluation or
Right.
email it to someone. That way we can make sure that hybrid is probably really the way that we're going to have to go, but we
Yeah.
need folks to tell us that. So
Exactly, because so many people, there's still a lot of people. I mean, how many do we have? Nearly 1,000 people at this conference.
I was in a workshop today with 190 people.
Yeah.
Dang.
Me too.
So really, I know people think that we don't really look at those evaluations.
But you do.
We spend an entire day and a half looking at evaluations and really truly deciding how we can make the conference the best for everybody. So please, please, please give us some input.
I agree. I think a hybrid, or at least have it access with people who can't be there.
Yeah, I think the other piece with this is because, particularly for people who don't have continuing ed budgets, because you don't have travel and hotel, that even having a hybrid for those who want to be in person and who have the money, who have the accounts to be able to do that, great. But to be able to reach out to more educators, because this kind of platform more of our volunteers. I know from Southminster, we did an organizational membership. So we have a couple of our CE children's ministry people who are doing workshops and stuff.
Wow.
Like the more, the more reach
Mhm.
we can get, because it's more economical. I think.
Right. Right.
I did put my
Humans
email in the
being with
chat.
people and having
Thank
drinks
you.
with people.
Yeah. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email me.
Right. Guys, you
Well,
rock.
and I want to say this too.
Yeah.
I think that it is important to have an option for people who don't have the funds. But I also want to say, when you fill out those evaluations, we do read every word, so be kind. I cannot tell you how many tears I cried over malicious and vicious responses to the 2017 event. And even though I had so many people tell me it was great and they had a wonderful time and we did a great job, I bawled when I got those responses, those evaluations, because people were so unkind.
If you
So
don't like
please,
it,
fill one out.
Yeah.
And be kind when you do it.
This is Julie Gavillo, who was the
Oh,
director of
okay,
the 27
right.
event.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
Julie
that's
and
correct.
Julie and Lexi
Okay.
co-chaired Denver.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I couldn't see her lips moving and I was trying to be sure.
And,
Okay. Julie, it was
however,
There
wonderful.
are ways to say that you
Denver
didn't like
was great.
something with tact.
If you're going to write something critical, sign your name on it so we can ask you what we can say it better. That's
That
what you
sounds
gotta
like a
do.
great idea. Because
And
if you're
put
not
you on
able to
the
sign
stage.
it, if you're
Then
not
don't
able to
say
sign
it.
it, you don't need to say it. Well, is there anything else that needs to go before this auspicious body of great minds and ideas?
I love you. I
She
love you
snorted.
all.
I love it. Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Liz, I miss your face.
I'm right. Well, probably on the other page. Yes. Guys, blessings to you all. Thank you. And man, we are going to have a rockin' Mid-Central event. And, we'll get the word out to even the outskirts, everybody. Okay, guys? Love you. Pray for you.
Liz.
Take care of yourselves.